All right. Firstly, I should admit that this has been weighing on my mind, and it's obviously that the weight comes from the only thing that humans really end up having. It's the great error of fearing that which is not the Lord. Do not fear dying. It's inevitable. It is one of the most glorious things about the human life is that it ends at some point. Otherwise, it would be wouldn't be much of a story, you know. So, it'd be like one of the worst video games ever imagined. Oh, hell, the video game. See, because you'll feel quite alive in hell. No, at some point, you gotta go back. And it was Eddie Murphy had some weird motivational short, and he just looks at the camera and he goes, "You got 75 winters, 75 summers, and then it's done. So you better figure out what you're gonna do. You better live life." And I was like sitting there like, ow. But of course, with Eddie Murphy, you know, he's a man who's like lived like 3 lives in one, you know. And with such an outlook, one could tell. So this is weighing on my mind. Like, okay, so Eddie Murphy's saying that you only got 75, and then this reminds me of, you know, that mentality when people really like pull it off in one lifetime. What's their mentality? I remember when my teacher was talking about being a musician, and he said, "Don't waste the audience's time if you're not going to bring the house down every fucking night." And I was like, oh, okay. All right then, you know. So, yeah, just thinking about that. All right. So there's the beginning of a trend / rumor that now, because of the price of the Ivy League and the lack of likelihood that you're really going to get the level of education that when, you know, you look at how much it's going to cost, and not just the school, but remember, there's all kinds of other, like the living costs in those cities is very high. So now people aren't sending their kids to the Ivy League. They're sending their kids to inexpensive schools in the Deep South. And yeah, I mean, I've got to see if this actually plays out and is more than just a rumor. But that's what they're saying, that like people are saying to like college, you know, when people ask about colleges, they're saying, no, I'm not sending my kid there because it's just not worth it. You know, which is, I mean, that's amazing, you know, that we've gotten to see fundamentally the United States fall under the rulership of Ivy League graduates to the point that, I mean, you almost, like, they are the people who run the country. And now, because of that literally a number of events that have spawned off of this. So people looking for the prestige of the Ivy League and trying to come up on the prestige of the Ivy League alone has now rendered the Ivy League a set of schools that people don't want to send their wealthy elite kids to anymore because it's not worth it. Not worth it is a very interesting phrase of the time. The juice is not worth the squeeze is another term that you're hearing people say a lot nowadays. And yeah, this is just weighing on my mind. Big things weighing on my mind. I've got to take a nice long walk. have a cup of coffee and think about it all. Yeah, you only get 75. Then it's done.